Hey yo, your friendly neighborhood quarter guy here, and I'd like to discuss a problem that's been ongoing for many years, and that's popped up again recently. Bad ports resulting from outsourcing. Recently, a lot of PC gamers have complained that the PC port of Batman Arkham Knight, a heavily anticipated game, was a horrible port. It was filled with bugs, glitches, and would crash often. And you can't blame the PC platform for that. I mean, there are a lot of awesome PC games and that run on great hardware. The problem is that apparently the PC port of Arkham Knight was outsourced to another developer and was not given proper supervision. And as a result, the port suffered. I'm going to be honest with you. This has been happening for years, all the way back to the early days of gaming. And it's not just PC ports that have been suffering as a result of outsourcing. Console games have had bad ports due to outsourcing as well. One of the most recent examples is the PlayStation 4 port of Ultra Street Fighter 4. From what I hear, that port was really bad. It had a lot of frame rate issues and choppiness. It was all a mess. Well, at least on Steam, the negative reviews were enough for Warner Brothers Games to take down the PC port of Arkham Knight off of Steam until they fix it. At least thanks for listening to the complaints to WB Games and Rocksteady. But please, word to all developers out there. If you're going to outsource a port of a game to another company, at least make sure that other developer has sufficient quality control and at least have the decency to supervise them. An outsourced port without the necessary supervision is just asking for trouble. It goes all the way back to the days of the Atari. In fact, one bad port almost had a role in crashing the industry. That, of course, being the Atari 2600 port of Pac-Man. We all know how much of a disaster that was. At least I can take comfort in the fact that when Killer Instinct comes to the PC, that Iron Galaxy Games themselves is developing that port. So, I have high hopes for that one. Another example of bad porting, a lot of Koei Tecmo's ports to the PC have been sketchy at best. The most recent example being Tokiden, I think it was called. It was this game that plays very similarly to Monster Hunter, but from what I hear, the PC version is total trash. And if you're going to port a game to the PC, do it right. Please. And that brings me to my question of the week. What's the worst console or PC port of a game you can remember playing? As always, write your answers in the comments below, and I'll give you my favorites in next week's episode. Here are last week's winners. With that, we come to the fourth wall mailbag. First question comes from Boba427745, who asks, now that they released Mother for Wii U Virtual Console, do you hope that they will localize Mother 3? Well, part of me does and part of me doesn't. Well, yeah. The thing is, I would love to see Mother 3 being released to America by completely legal means, 100% legal means. However, one reason I don't hope it happens is because there is already a highly reputable fan translation of Mother 3 available on the net, and the people behind it put a lot of hard work and effort into it. And they even if Nintendo were to release their own localization of Mother 3, I feel like it would kind of take a crap all over all their efforts, and that would be a rather heartbreaking thing. That is, unless, well, from what I hear, the people behind the fan translation of Mother 3 actually offer to let Nintendo use it in officially localizing Mother 3. If Nintendo does decide to localize Mother 3, I hope that's what happens. Because it would be a real waste of all that effort if Nintendo were just to use their own localization. And that would be rather sad. Next question comes from Clone Ranger, who asks, Would you ever consider doing a Xenoblade Chronicles Let's Play? Well, to be honest, I love Xenoblade Chronicles a lot. It's like in my top 5 favorite games of all time. However, I don't see myself doing a Let's Play of that game. For one major reason. I don't want to have to commit too much time to a Let's Play of a game that long. Seriously, Xenoblade Chronicles for me, by the time I finished my playthrough, I was well over 100 hours of gameplay. And that's not even counting the super bosses, which I never even tackled. I don't think I can commit myself to a Let's Play that long. I've done a Let's Play of Shovel Knight, which is a relatively short game, and I'm in the middle of a Let's Play of Adventures of Pip, which is also another indie title, which is relatively short. I may do one for Mighty No. 9 when it comes out, but for Xenoblade Chronicles, it's too long. It's too long for my taste to do a Let's Play of. Sorry. Next question comes from Dungeon Master, who asks, What are your thoughts on Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem? To be honest, I like the direction that it's taking, though at this point they should probably call it what it essentially is. It's essentially Persona Crossfire Emblem. I mean, the Fire Emblem characters shown in the game are basically personas. I mean, and the gameplay takes after the anime art style that the Persona series is known for, along with its modern setting. In fact, funny story. I have some friends that I chat with on Skype, and at one point one of my friends did pretty much a dramatic reading in the Skype call of this bad fanfic called Fire Emblem Academy. And when we saw the second trailer for Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem, one person noticed something, that the emblem on the students' uniforms kind of looks like a Pokeball, but then another one of them recognized it as Fire Emblem, and then the realization hit us. It basically looks like the bad fanfic come to life. Oh boy. We pretty much laughed at that realization. The game's probably going to be better than that fanfiction, though. Next question comes from Joshua Antoine, who asks, What's your opinion on sports games? To be honest, I don't really play them. Because if I really wanted to play the realistic sports games, I would just take up the sports themselves. And besides, from what I've seen, especially from EA, they seem to be incredibly similar from year to year. In fact, they seem like virtually the same game, just with roster updates and maybe a few new features here and there. It's probably sequelitis in its worst form, and it does not interest me at all. That's why I really don't trust EA Sports. Sorry. Last question comes from Danny11229, who asks, What are your thoughts on the Sonic Boom Fire and Ice trailer? What do you get when you combine Fire and Ice? Steam. And you can probably find better games on Steam than Sonic Boom has turned out to be.